Hello and welcome to Chef Shay Cooking Channel. My name is Shay and welcome to this video. I'm sorry I didn't upload anything for the past a lot of time, to be honest. I've had a lot of stuff in my life and well, I'm back now. And I hope I will upload regularly from now on, and I'm sorry for the delay. It will not happen again. So I wanted to get back with a big cake, and to be honest, this is a very simple one, but that's the cake my mom made in our house. And you know, a lot of people ask my mom for recipes for the recipe for years, and she didn't give it to anyone because it was like her secret recipe, and many people asked it. But I eventually got it, and I want to share it with you in my channel with all the 30 people that are subscribed. But you know, we will get better. We will get bigger. I mean, this recipe just needs to be shared. The love needs to be shared. My mom made this cake every time we went to, you know, every birthday for me and for my friends, and it tastes like childhood. Tastes like childhood. So the recipes will be, you know, listed below, like in every video. So I'm not going to say which recipes you used, but technically, you need to take around 6 eggs and separate them to whites and yellows. And you take the whites, you know, yolks, if you wherever you're from, and you add a quarter cup of sugar. And if you have like you know, something to stabilize it, like powders and stuff, you can add. It will be like bulletproof. But you know, my mom never used it, so I kept true to my mom's recipe here. So you take the 6 whites with a quarter cup of sugar, and then you turn on your mixer, and it you know, it makes it fluffy. Again, if you have some powders to stabilize it, you know, you can make it more modernized. This is a very old cake. This is a very old cake. I think it's from around 100, 200 years ago. So you take the yolks and you whip them until it's stabilized, which is hard. And what Angelica is telling me something. What? Just say. You can say it to the microphone. What? With sugar. Which one did I said? I said sugar. I did. With a quarter cup of sugar, didn't I? I'm sorry. So a quarter cup of sugar, and really, you know, I didn't know what to in my video. Wait, stop laughing. She's laughing here and it's bothering me. So I didn't know what the format for my videos should look like, but I think this is going to be my favorite format. Like me talking and telling the story about each recipe while I'm making it, because you can see basically what I'm doing and you can see the ingredients below, but every recipe has a story, and I want to share a little bit of those stories with you. So I think I'm going to do this format, and you can tell me if you like it or not. And if you do, that's going to be the format of my videos. I think that is how I'm going to continue. So, oh wow, sorry, yolk. Oh, I mixed. That's what she was trying to tell me. I mixed the egg yellows, the egg yolks, not the egg whites. Oh, sorry. I'm not going to record all of this again. Just, you know, basically you mix the yellow with a quarter cup of sugar, and then in a separate pot, or you just wash it, the white with a quarter cup of sugar, and then the yellow, once you mix it, yolks, the yellow. That's what you were telling me. Okay, I'm sorry. The yellow, once you mix them, they become like a little bit lighter in color, as you could see. That's when you stop. When they're that color, they're like a lighter shade of yellow, you stop. And then the white, you also whip them until they're... And then you need to have the stabilizer to the whites, not the yellows. You don't have stabilizer in the yellows. You have stabilizers in the white, powders and stuff, to make it bulletproof, because a lot of times that doesn't work. I explained in other videos about how to make sure it works. You basically need to be very clean and keep your white mixture of the eggs very pure, without any fats, which means without any yellow parts to it. So yeah, but you say I didn't use any stabilizer, and it went fine because my mom never used it, and you know, this recipe is around 200 years old and they never used it, so it works. It's very simple. And then so you have 2 mixtures, the white that was mixed quarter cup of sugar, the yellow that was mixed quarter cup of sugar, and then you have the third mixture, which you basically add 100 grams of chocolate. Just buy any chocolate in here. Really, it's just, you know, it's a cake for the house. It's so simple. Use any chocolate. I just use dark chocolate, 100 grams, which is a pack. Then 200 grams of butter. Yeah, it's a lot, but you know, old recipes use a ton of fats because it's tasty, and no one cared before about you know, those stuff. But that's the recipe. Just do it. You know, think about the diet later. So 200 grams of butter, which is a lot, I know. 100 grams of chocolate, and basically you can, you know, the fancier way would do it like in a double boiler, so it will not reach 100 degrees and all of that. The little bit less fancy, just, you know, just put it on the stove and mix it until it melts. Or, you know, what I do is just put it in the microwave. Microwaves never go above 100 degrees, so they're technically safe. So you add 100 grams of chocolate, 200 grams of butter, and 6 spoons of water. It's not scientific. I don't know why you add that. Like, I know because it doesn't dry out. Just, you know, it works. I don't know what. It works. It works. And that's exactly how my mom told it to me. So that's exactly what I'm showing you. You put it in the microwave, 30 seconds, you mix. You put it again for 30 seconds, you mix, and then, you know, until it melts. Don't put it, you know, it will reach to a point where it's almost melted, like 2/3 of the way, and then you need to stop. Don't continue it until it's melted like 100%, because there will still be heat inside, and that heat will melt it all the way through, and that's how you get to the perfect temperature. Anyways, so yeah, my mom cooked this basically every birthday for my sister and every birthday for me. And I don't know, I never, you know, I cooked it exactly how she told it to me, and it tastes completely different. I mean, it looks the same, it's the same texture, but there is something in the hands of a 80-year-old woman that is cooking the same dish for 30 years that can be only described as magic, you know. And she makes it just taste differently. I don't know why. There is no physics to why. There is no reason to why. So anyway, but that's the recipe, and you know, it's good. It's really good. It's the best chocolate cake I know. It's very simple. So you do the mixture, and then you have 3 mixtures: the white, the yellow, the chocolate. So what you do is you add the chocolate slowly to the yellow mixture, not to the white, to the yellow mixture, and you mix it until it's all mixed together. And then you add more sugar. So how much more sugar is totally up to you. My mom adds 1 more cup of sugar to that. I thought it's a little bit, like it's a lot, so I added less, but it didn't taste like it. You know, if you want it like perfect, you need to make it perfect. So yeah, you need to add 1 cup of sugar more or less if you want it less sweet. And then you take that's the most important thing. You take 1 cup out of this mixture and put it aside on a mug, just as it is. You take 1 cup, you put it on the side, and you don't touch it for now. So this mixture is the yellow mixture with the chocolate mixture that we mixed together. We added some sugar, 1 cup, or we added a little bit less because and then you take 1 cup, put it on the side. Then the rest, you add to the white of the eggs, and then you need to add a self-raising flour. So self-raising flour is relatively new. The recipe originated by adding 1 cup of flour and like 1 spoon of yeast. But I just find it easier to use a self-raising flour because that recipe has been through a little bit of transformation throughout the years. So I just use, like, my mom is using 1 cup of self-raising flour. But if you don't have self-raising flour, or if you don't know what it is, just use regular white flour. And and a little bit of yeast, because this cake needs to rise a little bit. So the yeast is like 1 teaspoon, around 1 teaspoon for 1 cup, and that is how much yeast you need. Or if you have self-raising flour, just buy that. And if you don't know what it is, again, if you don't know what is self-raising flour, basically it's flour that has yeast integrated in it. So it's like easier to work with if you want fluffier. But you know, it's most people just use flour and yeast in it. So that's also fine. 1 cup of flour and 1 teaspoon of yeast. So I'm just making the pan not stick by pouring some butter and then covering it with a tiny bit of flour and then removing the excess flour out of the tray. That was a little bit too big of a tray. That was a 26 centimeters tray and we needed to use a 24. So the crust on the top of the cake was a little bit thin to me, where in my mom it's very thick because she uses a smaller tray. So just mind that if you're using a 26 centimeters tray, you need to leave more of the or chocolate mixture on the side, you know, because that will later create a crust. You will see. What I'm doing here is because the oh, why did you add it to the video, Angelica? You weren't supposed to say that. I mean, I didn't mix it correctly, so, you know, from laziness, I just poured it and mixed it there. No, just ignore that, really. So you put it in an oven, 160 degrees, and you need to check if it's ready. How you check if it's ready? You put a knife in it. That's the most scientific way that the recipe originated. You put a knife in it and you take it out. And if the knife is moist or dry, it's ready. And if it has chocolate in it, it's not ready. So that took around 40 minutes in 160 degrees Celsius. You can check in your oven. Maybe it will take 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Doesn't matter. Take it out every 30 minutes. Take it out every 10 minutes and check. And you need to check if it's, if it's dry or moist. If it's dry or moist, it's great. If it's moist, it's perfect. If it's dry, it's a little bit less perfect, but good. If it's wet, like chocolate on it, don't use it. So in here, I try to make it smaller by adding another smaller ring to it, but seriously, you don't need to, just use the correct size in the first place. So again, my crust was a little bit thin, but my mom is very thick. So just use a smaller tray, like 24 centimeters is perfect. 23 is even more perfect if you have. Not everyone has 23 centimeters. It's very rare. So you put the chocolate that you put on the side on top after the cake was ready. And then you put it back in the oven for 5 more minutes. Just 5 more minutes, not more. And then it will create like a tiny bit of crust on the top. And that's the secret of this cake. That this crust is what differentiates this cake from all the other cakes and what makes it so amazing and so tasty. Again, I wish I had 23 centimeters. I might do another video just to do it with another 23 centimeters, just to show you how thick the crust should be. Or I might just ask my mom for a picture. Much better. But yeah, it was still great. It was still a great cake. If I used the 23 centimeters, the crust on the top was a lot thicker, 4 times as thick, and this is what it needs to be. So I put it on a cooling sheet to cool a little bit, and that's it. That's the cake. There is nothing too complicated about it. It's a 4 or 5 ingredients cake. It's the most simple chocolate cake you eat. In here I tried to make it look nice. And why are we editing these parts? I don't think we were supposed to see these parts. Never mind. No, that's real. That's real. And we're keeping it real in this channel. We're keeping it real. You're not going to get only the good parts. You're going to get everything, including this. So I just try to make it nice. My mom never does, but it's still amazing. It's more tasty. And that's it. I put it here to take a picture again. And that was very, very tasty. And I will take a crust picture of that just to show how it looks like. But imagine the crust and the top 4 times as thick. Or if you're using a 26 centimeters tray like I did, it needs to be, so take 1.5 cups outside the mixture, not 1 cup. You know what? Why not just take 1.5 cups outside in the first place, and then you don't have to worry about the thin crust, you know. And this is, this is the recipe that you make a lot more than once. So you make it one time, and you perfect it the second time and the third time, and it's going to be stable in your family like it was in ours. Everyone asked my mom what was the secret recipe. The secret ingredient in here. And there isn't. There is no secret ingredient. You just saw how the cake was made. The secret ingredient is love. And years and years and years of doing that. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe if you liked this video. Tell me what you thought about it. I will upload more regularly, I promise. Thank you.